بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue the study of Al-Fiqh al-Istidlali by Sheikh Irwani, Hafadhahullah. Our discussion is about validity of the decree issued by a jurist, Hujjiyatu Hukm al-Haakim fil Hilal. We are discussing different ways that someone can argue for validity. This is the third way, al-wajhu al-thalith. We have already mentioned two ways based on the tawqi and some hadith. The third way is an argument which focuses on doing things in the way that would not cause division or problems in the society. So Sheikh Irwani says one may argue that if halal cannot be settled by hukm of hakim and there is no enough evidence that would make people agree. Sometimes it is obvious people agree, that's okay. But if they don't agree, then some are going to say Salatul Eid today. Some are going to do Salatul Eid tomorrow. This can cause problem with respect to Eid and related affairs. So he says, al-wajhu al-thalith أنه لولا حجية حكم الحاكم للزم اختلال أمر العيد. If there is no validity of the hukm or the decree issued by hakim, it would require that the issue of Eid would be mukhtal, would be damaged, would be harmed. فبعض يصلي صلاة العيد وبعض لا يصليها بعض صائم وآخر مفطر. Some people say Salatul Eid, some don't say Salatul Eid. Some people are fasting, some are not fasting. وبذلك تختل الوحدة المطلوبة في أمر العيد. And with this, the unity which is desired about Eid would be damaged. There would be no unity. ولو ثبت الاعتماد على الاطمئنان لاشتهر ولتفهمه الناس واستوعبوه. If someone says it's not that Hukm al-Hakim is Hujjah, but people from Hukm al-Hakim can achieve itminan. When you have itminan, itminan means almost you are certain. So when you are certain, then that would be the Hujjah, not what leads to that certainty. Maybe this is one tafsir of this sentence. It was not very clear for me what he means by this. But then the answer would be that if it was based on itmi'nan, then this must have become famous and well known among people. People should understand it and would know that, okay, only when there is itminan we go by opinion of or hukm of hakim. But there is no such ishtihar, there is no such, reputation. So this is a kind of compilation for the main argument. The main argument is that we know that Eid is supposed to lead to unity. We say Salatul Eid together, even more than Salatul Jum'ah. For example, Salatul Jum'ah, when there is distance, they can do it. But Salatul Eid is better that people of the city all come together. Although there are discussions here in the about maraj, about the time of huzur, time of ghiba, etc. But it seems that it's better, especially in time of huzur, all people come together in one city and do this great, massive, Salatul Eid together is better. For the sake of unity, we need to find a way to settle differences of opinions and agree on something. Some people, of course, may not accept this and may say that, no, we need to go by hujjah. And if for some people today is established, for some people is not established, they have to continue fasting. There is no problem. Although it is preferable, it's better if they can agree, but it's not necessary. So this argument can be accepted by some and not accepted by others. But in addition to these three ways that Sheikh Irwani says they are valid, there are two ways that have been used to argue for hujjiyat hukm al-haakim fil hilal, which are not valid. Wajhan marfudan. There are two ways which are refused, rejected, refuted. وقد يستدل لحجية الحكم الحاكم بوجوه أخرى من قبيل. So there are argued in different ways, and we don't accept them. Number one, there is a riwayah, or you can even say sahiha, according to some experts, it is sahiha, of Abul Jarud. سألت أبا جعفر عليه السلام. I asked Imam Baqir عليه السلام إنا شككنا سنة في عام من تلك الأعوام في الأضحى. 1 year we had doubt about the day of Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Qurban, 10th of Dhul-Hajjah. فلما دخلت على أبي جعفر وكان بعض أصحابنا يضحي. So there was ikhtilaf, there was different opinions, so there was doubt. And he says, I went to see Imam Baqir alayhi salam, and some of our people, some of our community members, they were yudahi, means they were considering it as Eid al-Adha. So they said today is Eid al-Adha, 10th of Dhul-Hajjah. Imam alayhi salam, according to this hadith, said, Al-Fitr يوم يفطر الناس والأضحى يوم يضحي الناس والصوم يوم يصوم الناس. Imam alayhi salam, according to this hadith, basically referred him to what an-nas are doing, general public are doing, and it seems it's more referring to Sunni majority, that if their Hakim Shar has announced something and people are going by that, then the Shia should observe that and don't make separate day. Al-Fitr yawmun yuftaru an-nas. Which day is Fitr? The day that people break their fasting. They say this is day of Eid al-Fitr, the first of Shawwal. Adha is yawmun yudhahhi nas, the day that mardum, people, offer qurbani, sacrifice, and say this is Eid Qurban, this is the 10th of Dhul-Hajjah, that is the day of Eid. Wasawm yawmun yasumun nas, fasting also is starting when people say this is the beginning of the month of Ramadan. Yarudduha, but what rejects this hadith and argument based on this hadith is that أنها دالة على أن العامة إذا حكم قضاتهم بالهلال فعلى البقية مسايرتهم تحفظا على الوحدة. This hadith shows that when the majority of Muslim Ummah, the general public which are not Shia, when their judges issued the verdict that halal is cited, فَعَلَى الْبَقِيَّةِ, the rest of Muslims, they should do musayara, means they should walk with them, they should travel with them, means they should comply to that because of wahda, unity. This is why, for example, if you go to Hajj and they say, for example, today is Eid al-Adha, this is 10th of Dhul-Hajjah. Normally our Maraj say we follow that, even if for us it is not proved that when the first day was starting and then what is the 10th day, but we go by the decision made by their haakim shar, their qudat. So this riwayah or sahiha dalatun ala anna al-ammata إذا حكم قضاتهم بالهلال فعلى البقية مسايرتهم. If majority Sunni Muslims, if their judges say that halal has been established, others should do musayara, means they should walk with them, means they should comply with that, تحفظا على الوحدة, because of preserving unity. وهذا لا يستلزم أن للحاكم الإمامي الحكم ابتداءً. But from this you cannot understand that Hakim Shar, if he is a Shia, he can issue verdict and people should follow. For Sunnis they follow, and if you don't agree, then you have to be acting different from majority. But here, if it is all about the Shia community, so does Mujtahid Shar have right to issue verdict or not? Does it have any weight or not? Is it valid or not? This is the question. أنها يعني أن الرواية أو صحيحة أبي جارود دالة على أن العامة إذا حكم قضاتهم بالهلال فعلى البقية مسايرتهم. Why? تحفظا على الوحدة. وهذا لا يستلزم أن للحاكم الإمامي الحكم ابتداءً ولا لزوم متابعته. This would not imply that if the Hakim Shar is Imam is Shia, he can issue hukm, which would be agreeable for all or effective for all, and all should do mutaba'a, should follow him. The second way that they argue, which is again questionable, is based on Maqbuliyya ibn Hanzala, Umar ibn Hanzala. In part of the Maqbula says, ينظران من كان منكم ممن قد روى حديثنا ونظر في حلالنا وحرامنا وعرف أحكامنا فليرضوا به حكما. They should find someone who has narrated our hadith, has looked carefully into our halal and haram, and has known our rulings. So they should find this person and ask him to help. I have appointed him. فَلْيَرْضَوْا بِهِ حَكَمًا فَإِنِّي قَدْ جَعَلْتُهُ عَلَيْكُمْ حَاكِمًا. You should accept him as a judge because I have made him a judge and someone maybe to rule among you. Also is Sahihatu Abi Khadija, اجعلوا بينكم رجلا قد عرف حلالنا وحرامنا فإني قد جعلته عليكم قاضيا. Since there is no restriction, it seems that in every duty of hakim or qadi, they have permission and authorization. ومقتضى إطلاق التنزيل ترتيب جميع وظائف القضاة. When they said tanzil means they said it is like that. When they say this is like hakim or hujjah upon you, there is no restriction to any area. ومنها الحكم بالهلال. One of these tasks is issuing verdict for halal. فإنه كان من وظائف القضاة جزما على ما ذكر بعض العلماء. It seems that one of the duties of quzat, judges of Ammah, was to declare Eid, sighting of the moon. So we should go by that. وَيَرُدُّهُمَا. But these two arguments, these two ways are rejected. When it comes to Ibn Hanzala, the second one, مقبولة Ibn Hanzala, أن ابن حنزلة لم يوثق. He is not muwathaq, although some people may think it's muwathaq, but he says he is not muwathaq. Plus, وبقطع النظر, even regardless this, يحتمل كون إطلاق التنزيل بلحاظ خصوص رفع الخصومة. Imam says they should find someone who has looked carefully at our hadith and knows our rulings. Maybe it is only when there is khusuma, when there is hostility, when there is debate, there's a case between two people or two parties. One says, I am right, the other one says, I am right, etc. So in such cases, maximum, لا مثل مسألة الحلال التي ليس فيها خصومة. But not in something like halal in which there is no khusuma, there's just difference of opinion. It's not like someone says, this is my house. Someone says, no, this is my house. Then, ثُمَّ مَنْ قَالَ, who said, إِنَّ التَّنْزِيلَ نَاظِرٌ إِلَى مَا جَعَلَهُ الْغُضَاةُ لأنفسهم مِنْ دُونِ ثُبُوتِهِ لَهُمْ شَرْعًا. Another problem is that who said that this tanzil is referring and therefore including what these judges have claimed for themselves. Yes, we know that in other mazahib, maybe a judge declares Eid. But who said that the Shia judges also can do that? So this is beginning of the discussion. Basically, he doesn't accept in these two arguments, but he accepts validity of hukm al-haakim, hujjat hukm al-haakim, for three other reasons. Now, who is haakim? What do you mean by haakim shar? Haakim here is not king or ruler. Haakim is haakim shar. ليس المقصود من الحاكم مطلق الفقيه. Not every faqih, not every mujtahid, not every jurist. Is the jurist with something extra, and that is to be in charge of Muslim affairs. بل خصوص من بيده الأمر, he is ولي الأمر. فإنه القدر المتيقن أو قدر المتيقن من تلك الوجوه. The area that we can be sure is this part. أما الوجه الأول, why we say we mean by this haakim who has affairs in his hand, because we said that this is for imam, and imam, if we broaden the meaning, means a leader. So it must be a leader that is in charge, not someone who has just the knowledge, but neither people know him nor he knows the people. أما الثاني فلأنه في صدد الإرجاع إلى رواة الأحاديث في الجملة وليس في صدد جعل ذلك إلى الجميع عند التعدد بنحو الأرضية. So, in the first argument, as remember, discussion was about Imam, and we said Imam is the one who has Wilaya, who is Ul al-Am. And I remember we mentioned other cases. If I go back, we mentioned cases about Ilah, other things. This was al-wajh al-awwal, then al-wajh al-thani. Al-wajh al-awwal ba'd al-akhbar, in which there was mention of Imam, Amar al-Imam. Then some people said Imam is ma'asum, and we said no, Imam is not ma'asum only. We mentioned some hadith, and then we said that Imam means man biyadih al-amr. Okay, this was first wajh. Second wajh was tawqi, amma al-hawadith al-waqa'ah. So please remember this now when we are talking about wajh al-awwal, wajh al-thani, what we mean. So if we say wajh al-awwal, that Imam, he is Imam, Hakim, who is in charge of affairs, he is Imam. Second, أما الحوادث الواقع توقي. فلأنه في صدد الإرجاء إلى رواة الأحاديث في الجملة. It doesn't say أما الحوادث الواقع فارجعوا فيها إلى رواة أحاديثنا. يعني every narrator of hadith, or everyone who is familiar with our teachings. أما الثاني فلأنه في صدد الإرجاع إلى رواة الأحاديث في الجملة, regardless of the number. It doesn't want to say every narrator of hadith. وليس في صدد جعل ذلك إلى الجميع عند التعدد بنحو الأرضية. It's not that he wants to say فارجعوا فيها إلى رواة أحاديثنا, يعني you can refer to any faqih and they are equal, and there can be 10 of them, 20 of them, 30 of them. No, you have to see who is in charge, who is the one that people follow him and listen to him, who is responsible, exercising responsibility. Amma thalith, the issue of wahda and unity with respect to Amr al-Eid, of course, it's also clear that if faqih who is in charge of affairs issues hukm should be valid. Not faqih who, because the faqih are different. Some faqih maybe is just doing research at home. That's difference. Another question, this is our last question for today. Hukmul hakim is not only valid for his muqallideen. Suppose this hakim shahr is also marja' taqleed. Maybe there are other maraja' taqleed. They have different opinions, for example, about some issues of fasting, some issues of hilal even. As far as fatwa is concerned, everyone should follow his or her own marja'. But if it is hukm, applying fatwa to a particular case, then other maraja should also respect, other people who follow other maraja should respect. لا يختص حكم الحاكم بمقلدی. The حکم of حاکم is not exclusive to his followers. إن حكم الحاكم لا يختص بمقلدی لأحد الوجوه المتقدمة. The same three arguments. أما صحيحة محمد بن قيس فلأنها دلت على نفوذ حكم إمام المسلمين وهو واحد. Those three arguments, we mentioned them one by one. The first was Sahihatu Muhammad ibn Qais. There was mention of Imam. Imam al-Muslimin is one. Maraj can be many, but Imam of Muslimin in every society can be only one. So it indicates that Hukmu Imam al-Muslimin is nafiz, is effective. توقيع الشريف أما الحوادث الواقع فارجعوا فيها إلى رواة أحاديثنا. خب doesn't say فارجعوا فيها إلى رواة أحاديثنا if you don't follow another marja, another mushtahid. Otherwise, no, don't refer to رواة أحاديثنا. No. This also doesn't make that much sense. And the third about the issue of وحدة فلأن الحاجة تقتضي وجود رأي موحد. What we need is to have one opinion. لا آراء متعددة. Not many opinions. So for the sake of unity, when Hakim issues حكم, muqallideen of other maraj also should respect and follow. Now the next issue that inshallah we will discuss next week is if moon is sighted in a city, for example in Qom or Najaf, would it be beneficial for London, for example, for Dar es Salaam, for Nairobi, for Montreal, for Washington or not? هل الرؤية في بلد تكفي لغيره يعني لغير هذا البلد? Is sighting the moon in one land sufficient so that we don't need to sight it again or not? Inshallah, we will talk about this as a long discussion. We'll talk about it next session. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.